chat. Wait, why can't I hear myself? Ah. There we go. Can't hear myself anymore. Awesome. Alright, oh, there's a fan soaring in the background. Hold on, let me get that fan really quick. I've tried messing with my mic settings. Let me know if this does sound better. Let me also get my mic in a better position. That's probably important. Yeah, hello everybody. How are you guys doing today? Let me go and turn off that fan so it's not blowing at the microphone. Down neck. There we go. Ow! Something just cut my ankle. Motherfucker. I think it's no, it's fine. What's a little scrape and scratch and a bruise? You know, chat. Anyways, what is going on? Been getting up to some mischief today, and by that I mean I've been working on my stream room, which is still coming along, by the way. I know it's might be hard to believe given how long I've been talking about it, but it's coming together, and it will eventually be done, and you guys will be able to see it. It's my favorite. Okay, come on. That's unfair. That is very unfair terminology to use on me. I personally think that I am well enough. Granted, I'm not good. Oh, of course. Unbelievable. Anyways. Ow, dude, I think my ankle is bleeding, definitely. Should I deal with that now, or should I just wait till after stream? I mean, I'm gonna have a bunch of blood anyways, so, you know. It's whatever. Anyways, I'm putting together some ideas for today. A few things. Namely, maybe doing some, classic Flash games. Everyone's favorite. Everyone likes a little Flash game every now and then. Classics. Just a general thing that people enjoy. Alternatively, maybe we could do some Minecraft. Not sure about that. It would depend on what we do. I think we got a bad roll with the stream playlist. Hold on, let me restart this. Turn off shuffle, turn on shuffle. There we go. Ooh, that's a nice roll we got there. Alright, chat, don't worry. So there was a little too much Lemon Demon right after it, like, in a row for my taste, so I decided to, just mess with it a bit. Does that ruin the integrity of doing that in the first place? Maybe, but c'est la vie. Who cares? It's background music. It doesn't matter that much. So we just keep going. Ooh, eyes itchy. Anyways. So, chat. I have to go to AutoZone soon. Because I'm driving my car, right? And so I'm driving around, right? Like 2 months, like a month or two ago, I'm driving around, everything's perfectly fine. And then, out of nowhere, my car starts having issues driving. I'm in drive, I can't accelerate, I can't reverse. The gas pedal functionally isn't working. So we go to a mechanic. We have to get it towed back to my house, which is already fun. I'm in fucking Irvington. I gotta get towed back, but whatever. And so we do this. Go to a mechanic, pay like $500. I had to replace the transmission fluid because on my specific car, it's not something you can do yourself. Sure, whatever. That's fine. And so I got the car back. It's working fine for a little bit. And then a few days ago, suddenly, whenever I'm changing gears, whenever I'm accelerating, I get fucking kickback. Like, the car bounces. And, like, dude. Come on. What did I do to deserve that? Like, I don't think I've been that bad for karma to come back and kick me in the ass. But, alas, it's what I'm being punished with. So, suffering. And I don't know what it's going to cost, but I can tell it's going to be very annoying. So I'm going to wait until after I'm back from, you know, California to do that, because, I mean, let's be so real here. My ass does not have to deal with that right now. Looks like you. But, we just, you know, we get silly. We get a little mischievous and evil right now. I have been thinking of, like, I'm still doing stuff for YouTube. I just need to, like, actually finish doing the stream room so I can then record it. But I also realized that I do have a slight conundrum here. I only have about a year and a half worth of, recording in this room before I'm going to, uni in the UK. So I gotta try my damnedest to, I guess, like, pump out as much content while I'm here, or at least get as much done as I can while I'm still here. Because otherwise, you know? I mean, it's not the end of the world. Like, shit can be done very easily. Coming to UK, yeah, University of Brighton. For electronic music and sound. Starting September 2026. And you know, at the end of the day, I have to shout my goat, Aaron Rain. The only reason I even knew about the University of Brighton in the first place. And the only reason I can still... Ow, my finger. And the only reason I can still study the shit that I'm trying to do in the first place. Avoid Birmingham at all costs? Don't worry, I wasn't planning on it. Wasn't planning on traveling that much around the UK, except maybe to, where Babs lives. Because most of the people I know are... you know, are in the gay city. So, not that big of an issue. Ow, my finger, Jesus. And besides, you know, pretty much any job opportunity I'd get would be in Brighton anyways, so. Or maybe in London, but London's not that horrendously far away, so. Find me in your dreams or stay low. Dude, I fucking love these parts. I'm waiting for the new album. I woke up in a fantasy where I was when we started. Why is this not reality? Please answer me. You know, can you hear me well? Because I had to mess with the volume. And I don't know if I'm too quiet now. Like, are you having trouble actually hearing me? Am I loud enough? Am I too quiet? Gotta know. I mean, I guess I could check. I could actually pull up stream. More than what you let me your love. Let's see. Oh, yeah, no. I am not that audible. Leave me after tonight. Could see how an American will survive here in the civilized resort. Bro! I live... Wow, that is loud as fuck. Sorry. Def, you gotta work with me here on the sound. Curious how an American will survive here in the civilized world. I think that I'd do just fine in the UK. Which, by the way, very bold of you to call it the civilized world, because let's be so real here. There are places that are much, much more civilized than the UK. Like, you're not on your high horse over there. Don't try that. You know, this is why I hate British people. They're always like this. Thumbs down, pipe bombs in your mailbox immediately. Yeah. I'm also, back to the, like, sound thing. God save the king. Bro, tell me if the sound is good. Okay, you know what? Hold on, let me Let me use my theater skills to try and guess a good game. Ah. Okay, this should be fine, approximately. Let me do that. Alright. Alright, that should be good. Just barely edging into the red on the mixer. It's okay. Alright. I know I still sound relatively like ass, and it is something that I do want to eventually deal with. But until I can get a sound foam, I'm kind of screwed here unless I, like, get a fucking comforter and drape it over myself, which, I mean, I could do. Just not something I'm particularly inclined towards, you know? Because that requires a lot of effort to do, and I don't want to put that much effort in. So, at least for now, I mean, eventually, you know. I mean, if I can actually get the positions I'm trying for, then that should not be much of an issue. But that's not something we'll know yet. You know, I still got a few days before I hear back on those. If not, then I gotta try for a normal job. Hooray! Actual employment. Like, you see, Chad, this is what happens. You know, had I locked in on Minecraft in 2021, money wouldn't be an issue right now. You know, if I just, you know, instead of being, you know, 14 years old and in high school, I should have been locking in on Minecraft content, streaming 10 hours a day. And I would have made millions, chat. Flat out millions of dollars. But alas, I had a light. That's a lie, actually. Just made you feel old? I'm sorry. I'm only dude, that was only 4 years ago. What the fuck do you mean that makes you feel old? That sounds like a personal problem more than anything. If that makes you feel old, then you might just kind of be old, you know? You're in your 20s, people do tend to be that old. That is something that can happen. I'm very sorry that you're suffering from that, and I hope you do get better soon. But unfortunately, it's just a fact of life that you have to deal with. You know, it's not really something that you can ever avoid. Broken heart emoji. Thoughts and prayers. Perception time in scuffed since 2020, real. The entirety of the pandemic just fucked everyone over with that, I think. Oh, by the way, you know what? Dav, can you bully Lemony in here? I think that would be funny. Let me ask someone something. Oh, Banjo's a coward. I asked him if he wants to come on ENVC, and he just went offline. Boo! 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 Also, I like how when I go boo, my mouth just goes crazy. Boo! It cannot process the sound and the mouth movement at the same time, so it just acts like I'm actually talking. Which, I mean, fair, but, you know, obviously not the best thing. What am I gonna do? Ooh, my neck. I love doing this. This is funny. Hi, chat. What's up? What's poppin'? Huh, interesting. It can't process my blinks correctly when I do this for some reason. But, you know, so we'll stay in chat, we do it, but also bully Lemony into coming. And then we can, get up to some mischief. Ooh, throat. We know how to... Oh, yeah, skip that. Let me send that person an emoji. But, yeah. So... we're just getting silly. We're just getting a little evil right now. well, things work out. I'm still gonna be streaming every day in LA, by the way, even though they're currently on Calera, I think, Calera Avenue, which was very close to the convention center, which is very stressful, but should be fine. We should be fine. I probably won't get taken by ICE. But if I do, you'll know. Otherwise, you're gonna live in the UK, nice to those we hate and mean to those we like. I know. Don't worry, I know British people already. I know how they act. I know how those, people react to things. I just gotta, you know, go pip pip cheerio, God save the Queen, fish and chips, etc., etc. And, I should be pretty much covered then. You know? I have all the basics, we're good. Good day, governor. What else we got? Shit, I can't do that good of a British accent. I can do a slightly better Aussie accent, but overall, just kind of any Anglosphere accents that's more reliant on British than American mannerisms, I'm shit with. No? I mean, I can still do Australian somewhat well. Or I guess it's more of a mix between Australian and Kiwi, because I doubt that I'm gonna mentally differentiate between those most of the time. I mean, granted, again, this is not to say that Kiwi is... This is not to say that Kiwi is similar to Australian English. It's more that, like, especially to an untrained ear, you're less likely to be able to tell the difference, and I have not trained myself to notice that difference. So, yeah. I can tell between a few different British dialects, so... Well, I say dialect, it's very much accents. Let's see. Well, it's like, let's think about this from a linguistic standpoint really quick. You have two main schools of accent in the Anglosphere. Well, no, actually, I'd say there's three. You have the, you know, the American... You have the, American, like, as in North and South American versions, which, they don't have a lot of the received pronunciation, or the, over-enunciation, things like what, or, what, like, they don't have a lot of that skipping and received pronunciation that British does, and Australian and Kiwi do to a lesser extent. You know, that's mainly what you hear in the US and Canada, you know, no big deal. Then you know, you have the, you know, the British-inspired dialects. Southern American is better than Northern American. I wasn't talking about that. I literally meant, like, Guyana and Belize and the US and Canada, and also Barbados and other countries in North America in North and South America that speak English. But, you know, secondly, you know, you have, a lot of the Anglophone countries in Africa have their own, like, completely separate, pretty much their own completely separate forms of English that do descend from it and do show all the same words, but it's a lot more divergent, like, especially us compared to, like, American English is much closer to British English, I feel, than a lot of, African accents and dialects of English. And I think that's because just the sheer amount of colonialism. Like, there's, especially in, like, South Africa, there's a lot of Dutch mixed in. A lot of areas are gonna have a lot of French, maybe some Lusophone, maybe some Francophone, maybe some Dutch, German, etc. And on top of that, you also have Niger Congo, Zulu, Bantu languages, etc., etc., Khoisan, Xhosa, you know, all those sorts of languages. And of course, you do have the, you know, Australia, New Zealand type deal. You know, does that make sense? Please, does that make sense? because... And, I don't know. Americans have butchered your people's language? Actually, no. The version of English that we speak is closer to what you people spoke in the 1700s, so nice try. No. Like, it's mostly, I think, we stayed the same. Like, it's honestly a little surprising, like, especially when you compare that to, say, you know, the sheer extent of the Algonquin languages and other languages like that. Like, where are the other families in North America? Shit. Motherfucker. Hold on. Fuck. Bro. Why am I forgetting this? It's not just Algonquin. I know that for a fact. Ah, shit. Say jaguar? Jaguar. What's wrong with that? God damn it. Why am I struggling with this? I should know that. Motherfuck. Ah. Why am I struggling to remember this? Because, well, I mean, there's Eskimo loot. Fuck, there we go. That's another one. Eskimo loot. Jesus Christ, don't know why I was struggling so hard with that. Jesus. Yeah, I had no idea what happened with me there. But, I mean, the issue, I guess, also stems from the fact that a lot of things are a little more scattered. What's wrong with Jaguar? What is possibly the issue there? What's your issue with me simply saying Jaguar? Am I supposed to say Jaguar, or some shit like that, bro? And I'm not even on that. I'm trying to remember fucking North American language families right now because I'm very disappointed in myself for forgetting these. Like, there's Eskimo Loot, there's Algonquin, there's Naudene. I think Naudene is its own separate. There's Penutian. Fucking... What the fuck? I am disappointed in myself. Hokan. I'm disappointed, wow. I'm disappointed in myself here, chat. But you know what? Oh, no, actually, no, I'm still confused here. Like, what am I supposed to say? Jaguar? 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 You know, fucking... This is why I hate British people. You know? So intolerable. In the sheer fact that you think that you own the language is revolting. Thumbs down. Ugh. You wanna know something funny? It's called English for a reason. Yeah, and you know what? We have Italian. Italian's not an actual language. It's Florentine Tuscan. Like, it pisses me off whenever people act like... fucking... act like Italian's just like its own language that kind of grew out of nowhere. No, it's not. There's Italo-Dalmatian, Fucking the Italic languages, Italo-Dalmatian, Italo-Romance. Fucking the Venetian, Umbrian, Oskian. Like, I'm going insane. No, don't Among Us ass shake me. No, nuh-uh. I disagree with what you're doing right now. No. And German. German, for example. German isn't a language that just came out of nowhere. There's dozens of languages in Germany. What we speak is just what the fucking Saxons spoke. It's just Hanoverian. It's Hanoverian, fucking Saxon, and that's it. It's fucking High German. And it pisses me off that people act like they're monoliths of languages, because they aren't. Pisses me off. Like, I'm not insane here. Everyone else is... I'm not insane. Everyone else is insane here. Talking to history nerd, you know this? Well, you might, but most people don't. Or, like, fucking Czech. First of all, just the concept of Czechoslovak, and to some extent Czechoslovak being language, maybe. Maybe. But if you're gonna go into the effort to separate Polish, Polish is somewhat related, but we don't have to worry about that. But if you're going through the effort to separate Czech and Slovak into different languages, then in no way can you then argue that Moravian and Silesian are also the exact same language as Czech. Right? I feel like that's just completely... Like, you've lost the fucking plot at that point. Because why does one of them count as language if the other one doesn't? Like, am I insane? Like, fucking Lach, Moravian, Bohemian, why are you going to condense that all into Czech if you're separating Czechoslovak into Czech and Slovak? And that's not even touching on anything else. Like, fucking Kashubian, Sorbian, Canadian, though it's extinct. And you know what else pisses me off? Fucking Southwestern Slavic. You know why? Because Serbo-Croatian is a language. There's no debate on that. So then why, pray tell, do you then go through the effort of separating them into 4 other languages? Like, am I crazy? Can you... Hold on, there's a lot of background noise being picked up. Wow. No, I'm not crazy. Because it is well established that Serbo-Croatian, or, just Serbian, Croatian, Bosnian, and Montenegrin, do make up one singular comprehensible language. So, then, why would you ever need to then separate it out? like, I feel like I'm crazy. Because, like, I'm not insane, I swear. I'm just a little too into linguistics to be neurotypical. No, I do really like linguistics, but I mean... Dude. I don't understand. And you know, I'm not even gonna touch on Macedonian versus Bulgarian and whether or not it's one singular thing, because that's a debate that I'd like to not... Is linguistics my special interest? It's one of them. Don't think any of VTubers ever write about languages? Well, I'm glad to be the first, because god damn it, there's a bunch of things about linguistics that piss me off. It is one of my special interests. Yes, thank you for noticing. But you know, while we're on that, you ever heard of the concept of a macro family? A macro family, it combines language families, you know? It argues that, you know, these families are completely distinct from each other, are actually related. Say, for example, you know, let's go with Borean, because I have the most issues with that. Because what? I'm going to read to you verbatim the explanation of Borean on Wikipedia. Just from something that's giving like a one line. Description. All families except Sub-Saharan Africa, New Guinea, Australia, and the Andaman Islands. Now what an odd group to exclude. Almost like that's the groups that have been consistently, over time, the most abused and oppressed by the European colonists. Right? And so, let me read to you what some of the language that are included in this. Ready? They first of all, they relate, saying that the 5 most related families are Afrasian, or Afroasiatic, which, widely accepted, that's fine. Then immediately after, Sumerian, Elamite, Hurrian, and Hattian. 4 languages that have been extinct for millennium. The fact that we know Hurrian in itself is a family of 2 closely related languages that existed thousands of years ago is amazing. And then assuming that all 4 of well, technically 5 because of Hurrian being 2, saying that all 5 of them are related without anything to really back that up is bullshit. Then Carvelian languages, then Dravidian, then fucking... And then, another one of those ass-fucking macro families, Eurasiatic, which just misses a few of the ones in Borean. And then another ass one, but by the way, no, actually, no, I have some things I want to say about Eurasiatic first. Because let me take you in a little bit to Eurasiatic first. Just as subdivisions, you have Indo-European, awesome, great, well-defined, one of the largest language families in the world. You know, it spans from, you know, Spain to the edge of Russia to the Maldives, you know, fucking North America, South America, whatever. Uralic-Ugakur, or oh my god, Ukagir, don't know what the fuck that was. You know, sure, you know, connect Uralic to some Siberian languages, fine, I don't have an issue with that. Altaic, personally, I think Altaic is a viable language family. You know, people, you know, a lot of linguists will say that, oh, it's just a Sprachbund. I vehemently disagree with that fact. I think that Altaic is a genuine language family. One of the few macro families that I genuinely believe. Of course, I also believe, Denny and Saiyan, because that's a very well-proven one. I've actually talked a bit with, one of the main little proponents of that before. Not to brag or anything. I may have gotten some preprint versions of the papers, but, you're nothing from me. Edward Vajda, go. Then Escalou, fucking Chukto Kamchakan. Fine. Mixing Korean, Japanese, and Ainu. Bold choice, especially connecting those three in particular. Whatever. Nivik. And Tyrsenian. Which is, Etruscan, Radic, and Lemnian. Whatever. These maps, like, first hearing these, you think, oh, maybe that's believable. No. I want you guys to go to the Wikipedia article for the Borean languages and then scroll down to the family tree image. Which, by the way, let me just say, why the hell is why is the username of the person that originally made it Abrahamic Faiths? And why was there an edit war at one point for the fucking language image? Like, fucking back in 2017, there was an edit war. And then, pull up the image. You don't even get all the languages. Because Austronesian has over 1,200 fucking languages. It's a cop-out, And it's just... Don't even get me fucking started like Proto-World and Adamic languages shit. Like, those piss me off even more, because there's not even any proof to that. Realistically, language developed in different places at their own paces. Like, sure, we had some ways to communicate with each other. But at least the languages that we have now, most certainly, at least most of them, developed separately. Like, again, I personally am a proponent of Denny and Saiyan, because to me, I think it's a very viable thing, I very much buy the methodology by which that would be the case. So, that's whatever, right? And then you have, like, Indo-Uralic. That little more out there. But, sure. You could possibly, and when I say possibly, like, that is a very, very iffy. You could maybe argue that they are two very divergent branches of the same tree. And then, I'll take. Sure, I'll take. I believe I'll take to an extent. But anything past that, have I played Baldur's Gate? No, I haven't. But, like, going anything past that, I just don't buy. Like, especially when people try to, when people try, combining Afroasiatic, Niger-Congo, in languages like that, and, like, in Africa, to try and just to make it into, Never seen language autism before? Well, glad to be here first. Like, when people try to portray, like, the African language families as actually being part of one major, like, just one big divergent family, I disagree with that. I do not buy that for a second. Because if anything, like, if we're assuming that all these languages did come from one singular progenitor, then Africa would be the hardest to actually prove that for. Because they've, people have been in Africa the longest, and, assuming that language is 150,000 years old, in the mid-range for the normal guess, then, again, like, it's literally just white supremacy to claim that African languages of all different, you know, continent-wide language family, like language groupings, are actually a singular family. Like, I mean, sure, maybe you can argue that if you go back far enough, you know, most of the indigenous languages of North America maybe have some sort of connection to them. Europe, you know, you could probably make the same argument. You know, they have somewhat close in proximity homelands. But to say that that language, that Afroasiatic, you know, that Afroasiatic and Niger Congo, to say that those two groups are actually the same thing, and you know, you also know Nilo-Saharan, Khoisan, you get what I'm saying. To imply that they are all like just one big singular family is, I think, fundamentally a white supremacist belief. Because you're saying that, you know, because if you're actually thinking about this logically, you have to, you realize humans have been there the longest. If anything, it's going to be the most divergent group. It's going to be the hardest group to ever possibly categorize and to ever actually even attempt to prove. Thank you, Pika Pika. Oh, my throat. Sorry. Oh, your follow things on seeing on the side. Thank you, Pika Pika. Holy shit, you finally did miss? Hell yeah, I'm talking about linguistics right now. What I'm saying is, to look at Afroasiatic, Niger Congo, Khoisan, and now Saharan, and argue that, and you know, argue that, like, probably the oldest language families in existence are just one combined thing, which is almost always done on shoddy and like flawed footing in the first place, is like fundamentally racist, because it's assuming that these families that have existed longer than people have, you know, been in any other continent, you know, anatomically modern humans left Africa after, you know, any of these languages' progenitors would have developed. So to argue that they're the same is stupid. You know? And I suppose I could be overestimating how old these languages truly are. You know, I'm assuming that, you know, if you, with enough backtracking, you know, you could find proof of them, you know, tens of thousands of years ago. Possibly not true. But who knows? I mean, you get what I'm saying though, right? You know? And again, at the end of the day, they're just separate fucking families. Like, Indo-European and Uralic, sure. Those, I am well prepared. Also languages, Sumerian. No. The oldest known city is Ur in Sumer. The oldest known languages are not. Like, let's be so real here. Because it was the origin of writing. I'll give you that. Cuneiform. There. I will fully admit cuneiform, you know, Fertile Crescent, Sumer. But language itself, there is no possible way that language did not develop until we moved into the Fertile Crescent. Oh my god. Like, I think that your logic here is not sound. I'm sorry. Like, I get what you're trying to say, but no fucking way in hell, you know? You're not gonna tell me that before, you know, you get, no, I'm not gonna just repeat myself over again. You know, you guys know what I'm saying. You understand. Oh, my eye, Jesus. Can't wait for the article on this. Article on what? And who's even gonna write an article on this? I mean, I don't think there's really much to write about here. This is just me yapping and tweaking. Never stream of question. You know, maybe it is just yapping. However, first VTubing. I'm not the IGN Cuphead reviewer. Stop it. This is horrendously unfair to me, you know? And I don't like this. I don't like this treatment in the slightest. I think it's discriminatory. I think it's mean. I think it's evil. I think it should be pushed into oncoming traffic. Because it's just not fair. You know, you're saying these things which aren't true. And also, in what world would IGN ever employ a VTuber? Let's be so real on that one. Their asses do not care enough to ever do something even realistically close. What the hell is that notification? Sorry, I fucking... I pull up Twitch to check something. And the first thing I see is Shovel playing Fields of Mystria in a sponsored stream. Which, sure, you know, no argument, no problem with that. The thing I'm confused about is why is the stream sponsored by Coach? Why is Coach sponsoring her playing... like... I don't know. Ooh, wait, you know what I can do? I can go and mess with Liletha. What's Coach? It's a purse brand. Because I didn't want to buy. I should go into their live call and mess with them. Meow. I meowed at them. There we go. All in a day's work, chat. So, I think I've gotten out all of the linguistics ranting that I can do without just sounding entirely insane. Because if I start talking about fucking Taikadai, I think people are gonna think I'm insane. Although... No, I'm not. I will restrain myself. I will restrain myself from ranting about this too much. And boring you guys even more than you already are. I do highly suggest you guys look at the just sheer insanity of the boring family tree. Stop sending Among Us ass at me. This is unfair. Like, what did I, as the streamer, do to deserve this in any way, shape, or form? I think you're just simply a hater. You know? You know, I bet... that you believe in Dene Caucasian. Take that, huh? Take that, Daft. How does that feel? Yeah, not too good, does it, huh? I bet not. If you know what I mean. No, you English are just stupid. Anyways. Thinks the world is flat. Yeah, I would believe that. I would definitely believe that Daft believes the world is flat. That would track, in my opinion at least. Is this true? Is this real? Who knows? Ow, my... Bro, did I fucking kick something? My foot hurts. Shit, where's that? Where's the VTuber feet fan? I need him. I need him to help. I see those... I am not a lizard person. No, 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 no. No. Stop it. I am not a lizard person. I am not part of the Illuminati. I'm in no such grouping. And the fact that you're proposing this is evil and mean and bullying. I'm a woke lizard person. I am woke. I am absolutely woke. But I am not a lizard person. No. Easy Time does not embrace the Illuminati. No. Do not slander her like that. The lizard person would say, stop it. No. Yes, Aisi has gone woke. What are you gonna do about it, huh? You got a problem with that? That's what I thought. No. You're simply being a hater. And honestly, I don't like this. I'm not a lizard person. I am not. Stop that. I'm not. The West is falling. The West already fell, bro. Oh, I would say look outside, but you're not in the U.S. I was gonna say, if you think the West is falling, look outside. They're fucking killing us. But fucking hell, yeah, Aisi's gone woke. What are you gonna do about it? Do you like sunbathing? No, actually, I get sunburned somewhat easily. In addition, my blood temperature is typically normal. My body temperature is not regulated by that of the world outside. I am a warm-blooded creature, not cold-blooded, as some may claim. You know? So simply stop being haters. Stop making such accusatory statements. First lizard person not like someone. Stop! I'm not a lizard person. I am not the Illuminati. I'm not related to the Bilderbergers. I'm not a Freemason. I'm not. Okay, you know what? Chat, listen to me on this one. I am not part of the deep state. Okay? I am not a part of the deep state. Okay? I don't have a heat lamp. This room is too hot. Why the fuck would I ever want a heat lamp in here? No, just stop. I'm not JD Vance. What the hell? Why is my chat such haters? Not part of it. I am not the deep state. I am not the deep state. I'm not the Illuminati. I'm not the Bilderbergers. I'm not the Freemasons. I am Jewish. What other conspiracy theories? What else am I not? What the fuck is that shallow state? What? What? Dies. Oh my fucking god, chat. What do you hold the number? What do they hold under the pyramids? Fucking dead bodies! You know? Also, I was trying to find an example of a conspiracy to say that I'm not in. And so I pulled up Wikipedia, let's say conspiracy theories. There's a fandom section. In the fandom section, there is a subsection with its own article called Larry's, Because fucking Harry Styles and Lewis Tomlinson. Let's confront the spaces we can check. Bodies and riches, because that's what the pharaohs were buried with. They were buried in giant tombs with gold and emeralds and all sorts of fucking gemstones and shit. You know? There are no portals. There's golden there, it's long gone. Yeah, there's probably still some in some of them. I mean, King Tut's tomb wasn't found until, 1920 something. So, it's very, very easy to believe that there are still some pharaohs' tombs out there that, have not been found. And also, I'm keeping the stream unlisted because I don't need anything that I've seen here taken out of context. You know? Oh, my back. Jesus Christ. Ow, my neck. Ugh. You know how stupid the US is? There is evidence to show that as late as 2017, 40% of Americans believed in a deep state. Like, nah. No, my chest, heartburn, Jesus Christ. Anyways. What if we died? What if we just kind of died and exploded? I think that might be the best thing to do here. And just, Oh, my back. Chat. Why are you like this? This, all this talk about, like, bullshit conspiracies, ooh. Reminds me of, the fucking Lost Cosmonauts. You know about those? It's a claim, primarily, that the Soviets, especially in the, in the 60s and 70s, sent a bunch of astronauts out into space and just kind of left them to die. And of course, the only reason we know about this, autistic people in a room with no adult supervision. No, wow, crazy. Well, we got another spam bot banned. But no, the Lost Cosmonaut shit is really funny. Like, there's attempts at there's these radio recordings of people, of people like getting these transmissions from Soviets in space, flying, just being lost and shit. It's stupid. And it's a lot. It's stupid. So many conspiracy theories are just so fucking stupid. Like, dude. The fact that anyone, like, believes those in the first place is really funny to me. Ugh. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Your favorite is mole people? I don't know that much about mole people. Let's see. Well, mole people. Oh my god. Mole people are just fucking homeless people.
Are you talking about, like, fucking Agartha and shit? Huh? Yeah, no, there is no way in hell the stream is staying public. Jesus Christ. Just the amount of dumbass shit we're talking about. Oh, my neck. Oh my god, my spinal cord. Meow. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, meow, meow. Oh my god, have you ever heard of the fucking phantom time hypothesis? It is really fucking stupid. Odds and Nolan stream off the charts? No. Not exactly. Because I do not believe any of these conspiracy theories I'm telling you about. This is just some stupid shit. Phantom time is the belief that Otto III and Pope Sylvester II added 297 years to the calendar just to make it so that they were at the turn of the millennium. Mind you, this claims that Charlemagne doesn't exist. This would claim that, like, half the fucking Tang Dynasty doesn't exist. Actually, no, possibly the entire Tang Dynasty. I'm not a lizard person. Stop it. You know, that Phantom Time would mean that the Tang Dynasty doesn't exist, that Charlemagne didn't exist. Fucking... It's so fucking stupid. Like, the claim is that there is not an aught that can be dated between 614 and 911 AD. And, you know, Romanesque architecture proves, quote unquote, that that there was less time between the fall of Rome and when they were built than there wasn't. Or that Gregory the 13th got his time wrong. And, like, just... It's so stupid. Because, like, the entire rise of Islam wouldn't exist. Charlemagne, you know, the founder of the Holy Roman Empire, wouldn't exist. Pretty much all early Anglo-Saxon history, a lot of Byzantine history, papal history, fucking, all that shit wouldn't exist. The chat, I think I'm going insane. Because what the fuck makes people think that any of this shit's real? Like, genuinely. I can't even fathom what... I don't even know what to say here, man. You know? It's just so stupid. You know, sorry, not sorry, conspiracy theorists, but I just simply don't believe you. God damn, man. Do I sound insane? Eh? I should harass the left after stream, actually. I'm thinking. Oh, my wrist, that hurt. Oh, my neck. Jesus Christ. Chat, I'm gonna die. It's so over. It's so incredibly over for me. And, yeah, I think I'm gonna die. Oh, 7. Oh, VTuber Feet Fan is a European. That's why he's not on stream. Got it. Got it. Huh. I see. Oh, my back. Why do you need a nap, Lemony? What doth encourage such? I should harass the lava. I like how Discord just kind of decided that OBS is actually something that needs to be detected as a game now. Like, nobody needs to know how long I'm playing. How long I'm playing fucking OBS, yeah. Chat, how long do you play OBS? No. Like, fucking... What the hell am I on about? Oh, my back. You know, I probably should not hold a razor into my wrist. Into my palm. That's probably a bad idea. Should probably nap too as well. We've got a hectic few days. I mean, if you guys want to stick around, I can go and raid out into... I'll go and raid out now. Just so that way it's a little bit less embarrassing. Let's go with that. Alright, well. I think that's yes. Chat, thank you very, very much for being here today. I hope you all enjoyed. I know I didn't enjoy having to argue that I was not part of the deep state. But, what am I going to do about it? You know? Don't sleep till midnight? I already have the raid set, and it's just going to drop if I wait longer. Plus, Twitch is already going to be pissy if I start and cancel raids. So, chat, hold on, let me get the raid message typed out really quick. Tiny Icy raid. Those are people are the deep state? Okay, buddy. That's enough out of you. Icy Tiny. Alright, there you go. That's the raid message. Chat, thank you so much for being here. I hope you all enjoyed. Make sure to copy that really quick. And then I will go and send the raid. Alright? Alright. Chat, one more time. Thank you so much for being here. And I will see you guys tomorrow.